What's up, guys? This is part 2 of the Chapter 11 PowerPoint. If you haven't seen Logan's part, go ahead and watch his part first because that's going to flow into this one pretty smoothly. So let's just dive in. I did that last time as well. Okay, so to expand more on some other expenses of putting on a show, as Logan talked about, the three main ones is going to be your advertising, your booking fee, and the other one. I can't really remember the other one. That's okay. These are some other expenses that you have right here. A contingency plan just in case your plan A or plan B doesn't work. So let's say an artist backs out or whatever. You're going to need another option. You're going to need a way to move forward with the show. So having some money set aside for those plan B, plan C, plan D options is always good. Another expense that could come is artist hospitality. So you can get an artist rider with maybe $100 worth of things that they're going to want for the show. You need to make sure you have those because that kind of sets off a good relationship between the concert promoter and the artists themselves. The hospitality is a good way to build relationships, especially if you're in the industry. Fulfilling a hospitality rider is definitely a solid look on your part. Another expense is going to be production. Some venues or a lot of venues have their own production in-house, but as an independent promoter, a lot of the times you're going to have to rent out production from a different company. That could be the subs, the speakers, the soundboards, the lighting, the smoke screens, the pyro, whatever you're going to have on the production side, you're going to have to account for in your expenses to make sure that you're not going over budget and to make sure that you can stay within your budget. This actual rig right here, amazing. I've heard it live. Sounds absolutely incredible. I don't know why I wanted to add that, but just look at it. It's crazy. You can just imagine standing right in front of that. It's insane. Another one is the PRO expenses. Sometimes this may not be like I don't know, you may not need it as an independent promoter, but if you own a venue or I'm playing in a venue that plays a lot of like pop music or whatever, you're gonna make sure that they're registered with ASCAP or BMI and to make sure that they pay their registration fees and to submit the songs that are played to BMI and ASCAP so the artists can also get paid for that. That's usually an expense that most people don't account for, and you definitely need to because you can get some serious trouble. There's a lot of venues that I've heard about that have closed their doors because they didn't pay BMI and ASCAP fees. Even one of our old professors used to work for ASCAP, and his job was to go into venues and make sure that those venues were paying. So that's always important. You need to make sure that is being paid off. Another thing is event staff. So these aren't necessarily like, say for a venue, you'll have your salary employees, but there's some events where you'll need to pay by the hour and you'll need to have staff present, whether it's security, merch sellers, hospitality people, just anybody that could be of use to the show that you wouldn't normally have on payroll. You need to account for their pay at the end of the night as well. So into the next subject, projecting the show's income. Expenses can be controlled, but incomes can't. So you can plan out how much you're going to pay for the show and how much things are going to cost. But as far as how much money you're going to generate from the show, you don't really know. The incomes vary from a local venue to a festival. Local venues rely on ticket sales, food, drink sales. Definitely not as many avenues as you can have as a festival. Festivals can charge different tiers. Like you can have a base tier of $140, but then you can add a tier that involves a bunch of different amenities, but that can cost like $400. So festivals definitely have a lot more income streams that they can work with compared to a local venue. Local venue only, like I said, only has the ticket sales, food, merch, maybe maybe they'll sell their own venue merch, but usually that goes directly towards the artist. So definitely need to keep that in mind. And that's a problem with local venues. That's why a lot of them have trouble staying open and have to put on so many events at a time, because ticket sales are the income stream. I mean, if you can bring people into the door, that's your way of making money. Festivals, they have so many more options, as I said. And when you're budgeting out how much you're projecting to make for a show, you need to be realistic and you need to be accurate. You don't need to expect to sell out every single show. It's just not going to happen. Unless you're booking like, here we have Tyler the Creator or something. He may sell out a show. But let's say you're booking shows in Mississippi or New Orleans, you're not going to get a sellout most of the time. So you need to take that into account. And the best way to do that is to research tour history for the artists you're booking. The best way to go about this is to see what other venues these artists have played in and to kind of relate what your venue looks like compared to theirs and see how theirs did. Again, this depends on the geographic location. So your projected turnout's definitely going to be lower here than it would be in, let's say, like Los Angeles or Denver, Colorado. So, like I said, be realistic and be accurate and do your research. It's good to see where they played. It's good to see how many people they turned in, what day of the week they brought in, and all that information is good to have. If you don't have that, your chances of success diminish. So it's good to just have everything ready, everything there, everything to put forward into projecting how much you're going to make for the show. Intuition is good. Good intuition is good. Bad intuition is not good. But always know your break-even point. You can get away with a lot. Like, you don't have to sell 90% of the venue to make a profit, you know? If you have a good artist that's on a come-up, and they may or may not sell out the venue, but they have a loyal fan base and you feel like they really can bring a lot of people and it will be a good show, then that show is feasible to put on. At the end of the day, it is about the profit, but it's not about the profit. You don't need to have 500% profit margins or 300% profit margins. You know, if you're, like I said, your break-even point, if you're making above that and can keep it going, keep it afloat, I think that's feasible. So that's why it is. Be realistic. Trust your intuition. Don't overreach, and don't just expect more than what the numbers show you. And then know your projections are different for each circumstance. So every artist is going to be different. Every day is going to be different. The best way to calculate this is to have a sales scenario spreadsheet. And I have an example right here using Microsoft Excel. So you see here we have a small venue, medium venue, and a large venue, and each vary by the seats and how much it's going to cost for like an artist. So this is really cool. You can have this all listed out to see, like, let's say you're managing multiple venues. It'd be good to see which artists would work well and see how much it would cost and how much you would make for the show itself. So like a very large venue, the security prices is going to be a lot more than a small venue at $150. You know, so having something like this definitely helps you to know and to project your range and make sure you're not going over budget. But like I said, these are just some of the expenses you can have, and you can also like experiment with the ticket prices too here. So let's say you have a small venue and your ticket price originally was going to be $20, but you make a spreadsheet like this and you realize, if I make the ticket prices $20, I'm not going to break even. Then you're going to have to make a switch, right? So maybe bump it up to $30. See how that changes your profit margins. This is really good. Sales scenarios spreadsheets are one of the most effective ways to know how much you're going to make money, and it's good to prepare with stuff like this instead of just winging it a lot, you know. So yeah. Sales scenario spreadsheet. Definitely use it. Definitely make them. Put a bunch of different options on there. and see what different circumstances work well with others. My face is in the way, I apologize. So making the budget-based decision. Is the profit worth the risk? I kind of spoke on this a little bit earlier, but is the artist you're bringing in worth it? Are they gonna make you money? Are they gonna make the people around you money? Are you booking them for personal reasons, or are you booking them because the numbers say, hey, this is a worthwhile show? You definitely don't want to get emotional when booking artists. You need to make sure it's worthwhile. You don't want to be in the red at the end of the night. At least you want to break even so you can put on another show. But you're always kind of wanting to get a little profit. That's the point. Unfortunately, that's the point. So is the profit worth the risk? And this can be from the venue size, this can be from the artist you're trying to get, this can be a bunch of different variables. So yeah, the common mistake is trimming advertising expenses to make numbers work. Advertising is one of the most important parts in booking a show or pushing forward a show, promoting a show. You don't want to skimp out on advertising. If you don't skimp out on advertising, you're not going to pull ticket sales. So a lot of, like I said, it's a common mistake that people make is they try to trim marketing expenses to kind of make the expenses less so it makes the show feasible. But that's not really a good way to go about it. If anything, you're going to want to put more money to marketing so you can get more ticket sales instead of pulling away the expenses that it's going to drive in more money. So a good way to counter this is maybe try to negotiate a lower price with the artist, right? Or maybe find a different artist that doesn't cost as much, Those are different ways you can counteract that. And don't underestimate variable cost. Variable cost, like I said, with the large venue compared to a smaller venue, if you're trying to book a show and you have like a cap of how many people you think are going to come, and a lot more people come, you're going to need to account for that extra money you're going to have to spend for security, maybe alcohol, or variable costs. There's a lot of things that can add up if you have more people than expected. So this kind of goes into the contingency plan, is always have some money available just in case things grow or other expenses come up. And success is when preparation meets opportunity. The sales spreadsheet, projecting the right amount. When you have all those together, it can really make the show successful. And you don't want to skimp out on preparation. Preparation is important. And this quote, is the key. Is success is when preparation meets opportunity. When you have the opportunity to get a great artist in and you prepare to make sure that artist is feasible to bring in, it really